So maybe you have a few knives already, or maybe you are looking to start a knife collection. Well, thank goodness you found this video, because today we are going to go into how to build your knife collection, what you need, how to maximize your collection. Alright, but for everyone new here, my name is Jack Billings. I teach people bushcraft skills, knife skills, outdoor stuff. Alright, and I also make pretty cool fixed blade knives. You can find those knives on shedknives.com. They're 100% USA made, but I'll talk about that a little later. So let's get into the video. Alright, so I have a personal knife collection. It has grown quite significantly over the years since I started. So I started getting knives in the 3rd grade. So now I am 19 years old, and that means I've collected a lot of knives. Approximately 60-ish of them. So where do you put these knives? How did I get there? And how can you do something similar? Well, what I recommend is figuring out what you like. Okay, that's important, because maybe you don't like stag knives. Okay, stag knives are knives with bone handles on them. Maybe you don't like them, so it would not make sense for you to go out and buy a whole collection of them, because then, well, what are you going to do with them? Alright, so figure that out first before you go buying. Because I've figured that out. I see something cool, but then realize later on I'm actually not interested in it. It was just a temporary thing. So go figure out what you like. Do you want to collect them for value? Like, for example, the Benchmade Gold class, they increase in value significantly. My Shed Knives models increase in value at the end of the year when they're discontinued, and so on. So maybe you're looking for investment pieces. Okay, then for example, the gold class, you got to dish out some big coin, you got to dish out a lot of cash up front, maybe $500, $600, $700 for a gold class knife, but in the coming years, that may be a $1,500 or $2,000 piece. Investment pieces. Or maybe you're looking for function. That's what I do. I sell function-based knives. Yes, some of them increase in value, but I sell function-based knives, just like plenty of other brands out there. They make them so the knives can be used. Okay, well, what are you looking to use a knife for? Think about that. Are you going to be hunting, fishing? Maybe you're building shelters. Maybe you're going into the outdoors for camping. Maybe you're hiking, so you need something lightweight or more compact. Also, maybe you're in the city and you can't carry big blades and swords all day long and machetes and stuff, because that would look a little odd if you were carrying a machete in New York, and I don't think you can do that. So that means you should probably collect smaller knives. So I'm not going to beat this particular subject to death. I don't need to continue to get into that, but figure out what you like, okay? Figure out what you like. Then, once you figure out what you like, it's time to start finding companies that you like. Now, I guess that could be same thing, figure out what you like, but start to find brands that are similar to your interests, similar to what you are interested in, maybe the values of the company, maybe what they do for resources, where they make their knives. For example, a lot of people like Shed Knives because I preach about 100% USA made production. I have people from other countries who love that. They really, really like it. Not because it's just America, but it's because I'm supporting other businesses. I'm supporting the local economy. I'm supporting my brothers and sisters in America. I'm not sending my money over to communist countries like China. I'm not funding their programs. I'm not funding their society. Okay, I'm not funding child labor where you're buying Taiwan or Chinese made knives and there are kids making them. Not Shed Knives. I don't do any of that. I don't even buy Chinese or foreign steel. I don't buy foreign G10. My screws, even the smallest part of these knives, are USA made. Every single thing is USA made. Okay? That is what I value. Maybe you don't value that as much. Maybe you're going for cost. Okay? You want a knife under $50. Well, Okay, great. If that's your thing, then that's your thing. But I know for a lot of shed knives enthusiasts, they value American production really because of the values, because they're going to people and they're going to a good mission. All right, the shed knives movement. So figure out what you like. What are you interested in? There's a lot of different topics within that. I guess we could talk about this. I wasn't going to talk about this, but now that we're here, we might as well. How do you fund your knife collection? Because obviously they're not free. How do you do it? Okay, how do I do it? Well, for Jack Billings, I started Shed Knives because I wanted to make my own knives. Not because I wanted to make my own knives, but really because I didn't want to spend money on knives. So I thought, let me make my own, so that way I don't need to go buy new knives. Great, I can just make them. And it was just a hobby. That was it. I didn't plan on selling them or anything like that. It was simply for personal interest. Okay? So maybe you can do the same thing. That's a possibility. But also funding knives. I've looked into a few things with this. Alright. You can dedicate a knife fund. Okay, we have different funds for all sorts of stuff. Insurance, that's really a fund. You're paying into that. Maybe you have a repair fund for your home, for your car, for your appliances, whatever it is. Okay, start a knife fund if you don't have one. Okay, and it doesn't have to be putting in $1,000 a week. Most of us cannot do that. Maybe put in $10 a week. That's more reasonable. Okay? It's the small, steady improvements, small, steady progress that will get you consistent knives. So all you got to do, put in $10, $20 at a time. Pick out when you want to do that. Do you want to do it every week? Do you want to do it every 2 weeks? Maybe when you get your paycheck. So dedicate a knife fund. All right? And worst case scenario, okay? You have something big come up. Well, guess what? Now you have a whole fund that you can dedicate to that. So great. Now you just killed two birds with one stone. Oh my gosh. Now we have a fund. We have a fund of cash. But the main purpose is knives, but we still have a fund. All right? And so you can figure out how you can fund that yourself, whether it's through a job or maybe you're selling other things you don't need anymore. Maybe you're selling tools, whatever it is. Okay, yeah, I'll let you figure that out. But dedicate a knife fund. I definitely encourage that. I have funds for different things. I'm sure you do too, so knife fund is great. Also, something a lot of knife freaks like myself forget about is knife storage. I'm at the point now where I actually ran out of knife storage, so I started just putting knives in like various safes. Somehow I got a ton of safes for free. Like I found a bunch of safes on the street with a bunch of free signs on them, and they were free. And they had the keys in them too, so I just took these small safes, because they're like, yes, please take them. And so I just threw all my knives in them. Well, that's not very organized, and it got kind of confusing. I have a keychain with all these keys on them trying to find my knives. Alright, so what I did, I got a toolbox. Okay, I got a Craftsman like tool chest, and I lined the drawers with like this rubber mat. You can pick it up at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, like wherever they sell toolbox stuff. Home Depot. You can get this little rubber mat that goes in the drawers, and then you can lay your knives in there. So how do you get the toolbox? Well, that's why we have a knife fund, okay? So maybe you like blue knives, okay? Going back to interest, what we like, maybe you like blue knives or darker color knives. Well, now you can get a dark colored toolbox or dark colored chest or a light color, whatever it is, to then match your knives. So going back to interest, going back to the knife fund, now your knife fund funds your knife storage, okay? Funds your knife storage, and that way you can display your knives. It looks clean, it looks nice. I actually set this thing on my dresser, and surprisingly, it looks pretty good. So I put all my knives in there, and it's just a nice little chest where I can grow into it. Okay, next on the list is the essential knives we need. Now, yes, we can pick all sorts of knives that we like and we really enjoy. Maybe they all look the same. Okay, no problem. But you should have a few essentials. All right, what are the few essentials? You gotta have a folding knife of some sort. That way, if you need to carry a knife into a place that a fixed blade or a larger knife would stand out, that way you can still have a blade for whatever you need, and you can still carry it on your person. So you need a small folder. Then, I can't believe I said that, as a fixed blade, as somebody who is a massive fixed blade enthusiast, I said carry a folder. But yes, carry a folder, or at least own one, just one. And then, obviously, look at the channel you're on, you need a fixed blade. Okay, this is one I just had in one of the drawers, I just grabbed it. This is the 2023 Conquest, okay, it is not sharp yet. Okay, 2023 Conquest, comes with the G10 scales. You need a fixed blade of some sort, whether it's the Conquest or the Tuatara or the Skewer or whatever knife it is, a fixed blade of some sort. Then, I encourage you to have a hatchet. If you like big blades like me, then you'll have an axe, but at least a hatchet, okay? Have a hatchet, all right? This is important, or at least helpful, because a lot of us knife people do outdoor stuff, and you can only do so much with a folder. You can do a lot with a thick fixed blade like this. Look how thick this is. You can do quite a bit with that, okay? But most fixed blades you can't do much with. So carry a hatchet, or don't carry one, but have one. Have a hatchet. Then after hatchet, have a machete. Personally, I like the kukri style machete, just something that works for me. I keep one in my vehicle at all times, just because I go to many outdoor places and I use it quite a bit. So a kukri is nice, or just some type of machete that works for you. And then if you're really into knives and big blades, this isn't a need, but it kind of is. I would recommend a sword. Okay, I have a sword. The sword I have was actually the first thing I ever made for knives. I didn't make a knife at first. I didn't make like something like this Conquest. I made a sword, because it was like, start big, work your way down. So I have a sword. I encourage you to have a sword too. All right, and then after that, it pretty much rounds off your collection, so no one can really say like, oh yeah, well you don't have this. Well, I kind of do. I've got the essentials. Jack said get the essentials, so I do. So can't really say much. So anyways, I encourage you to have those essentials, and then please continue to grow your collection. Whatever it is, you have your knife fund, you know what you like, you have the essentials. Now it is time for me to let you go into the world to then grow your knife collection bit by bit. But before I do that, I have a few ending things here. First off, I want to know, what knives do you really like in your collection? Let me know in the comments, maybe even how many knives do you have, because some of you have some pretty big collections. So let me know in the comments. Also, if you found value in this video, or know someone who may find value in this video as well, go ahead and share this video with them. If you liked it, found it helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. And last but not least, my friends, if you like knives and you're not subscribed to Shed Knives, what are you doing? You should hit the subscribe, because I post knife resources, knife content, bushcraft skills, survival skills, all things in the outdoor realm that I can educate people on. I post them, and I teach people how to do it. I also make some pretty cool knives. So go ahead and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. You're contributing to the Shed Knives movement. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Well, I think that's about it. My name is Jack. I make knives, and I'll see you in the next one.